I'm very excited. My name is Brock Zevan. I'm a life coach, business coach, real estate agent, and a dad. And excited to have Chad. Chad's going to be leading us on Tuesdays now. So blessed to be able to have him and in here on our show as one of the leaders that we have here this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Can you believe, guys? It is the last. I'm trying to admit everybody here. Facebook, I got you. There we go. There we go. Finally, I got it. Can you believe, guys? It is the last day of January. I mean, 30 days ago, we were saying Happy New Year's. We were like, Happy New Year's. Ah. And now it's like, boom, it's the end of the month. Like, phew. It just amazes to me how fast time flies. I say it all the time. Time flies, blah, blah, blah. But good morning to everybody out there. Boy, do we got a show today. I was able to be with Chad last night on our success school, working with younger kids. I was telling Chad while we were on there, I was like, man, I'm so used to seeing adults on Zoom that it was weird seeing kids on there. And guess what? Guess what, adults? All the kids were on video. Every single one of them was on video. I was like, listen, kids. I say kids, but I'm like, I can't get adults to get off of video. Like, they're. I don't know what they're doing in the morning. And yeah, I might be calling some of you out. I might be calling some of you out there. But all the kids, they were on video. We had a really good time. Excited to be able to be coaching with Chad on success schools to be able to help our kids. Good morning, Karen. Zoom, guess what? Facebook is up and running perfectly fine this morning. Very excited about that. No issues with that. Deanna, Greg, Janet from Florida is here this morning. We got a couple people coming in here. She's got the new book that our coach, today's his big day that it is going out. I put a message out there for you guys. Listen, his book's 24 bucks, 8 days, 8 times of coaching with him for 24 bucks. I wish I could pay $24 to be coached by him. Let me just tell you, if I knew that, I would have bought several books and still been all right. So Chad, good morning, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Brock. I'm doing fan flipping tastic, brother.
I love it, man. I just love it. Well, Bud, I'm going to hand the baton over to you, buddy, and you take it from here and on your message you have for us today.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me be here with you. And what an honor it is to step in here. Listen, I can never fill Sandy's shoes whatsoever. Understand that. But I promise you to bring my best self and everything that I have to the table, that I feel like my past can maybe help your future. But I just want to say, I want to start out by saying that this Figure It Out Friday, I can't get that figure it out thing out of my head, but it really does help, because this morning was a figure it out kind of morning. We went to sleep, woke up, my wife was sick all night long. I didn't even know it. I mean, I'm thankful she didn't wake me up, but I hope she understands that I would have been there. I'd have gave her a cold rag, all that good stuff. And then, so that means that I fix Jackson's lunch and his breakfast, and I take him to school. And the whole time I'm doing that, figure it out. Got to figure it out. We got to figure this out, because I'm on today. I got the show today, but I'm going to figure it out. Man alive. So anyway, this might tell on myself a little bit, but I have concepts and I have my story and all that good stuff. So I can speak pretty much just like that. But it's very important to me to have time to prepare right before I give a message. All right. That's just the way I'm wired. I just do that. And so anyway, a little curveball got thrown into that. But I'm sure this is such a fine group. Y'all will understand. I said all of that to let you know if I'm off a little bit, that might be why, but we don't make excuses in my house. All right. So here we go. So what I wanted to do this morning and talk about is something that made a huge impact on my life. And really, it's going to carry over from your message yesterday, Brock. You talked about the why. You talked about because goals. You talked about purpose, right? And each one of us have something that we call it, whatever that gets us out of bed, one of it, whatever that gives us that can't stop, won't stop reason for doing what we do. Now, I want to go a little deeper on that. I want to talk about the because goal. I want to talk about purpose and how important it is to really dig down deep and find out what that is. Like, you hear that, we talk about it. How many of you said, you know what? I'm going to go over here in the corner, or I'm going to just set aside some time for me and just try to figure something like that out. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to walk away with it, but at least if you think about it, you can start putting your focus towards pursuing that purpose or seeing what that really is that makes you tick and perform and drives you. All right. So our coach always talks about the A to B exercise. A is where you're at right now, currently. Okay. Sometimes you have to hear this 3, 4, 12, 13 times before it really resonates. Okay. And then you have your B, and that's that desired location that you're trying to go. Now, this is what I want to talk to you about. If I asked you, what are you trying to do? Some people would say, you know what, I want to make $250,000 in 1 year. Okay. How you figure some of this stuff out is then you ask the question, why? Why 250? Or if you say, I want to hit 6 figures, why? Why 6 figures? And you keep asking yourself, why? When you come up with that answer, why? Why 250? Well, because I just, that's the goal I thought, and I think that would just be great. Why? Why? If you continue to do that, this is what I want you to understand that you'll eventually find. If you're open and honest with yourself and your mindset is truly prepared on what you're seeking out, what you'll find is, well, maybe I've got a daughter that is in public school and it takes X amount to get her out of public school and into a private school that I really, really want her to be in. I'm just giving an example. Or maybe it's because, I really don't want to live here anymore. I want to live in this place over here. And the only way that I can get there is to do this and make this amount of money. Why? Why? So see, there's two different things. You may say your why is your family, and that's really just the right thing to say if you think about it. But just like kids, because why? Why? Because why? Ask yourself because why? All right. And I would challenge you again, you got to get deeper and deeper and deeper, because it's not logic that you're going to find, it's emotion. It's something emotional. It's something way back, even into your childhood, that you will find. And man, once you untap that, once you pull back that tab, now you realize what drives you, and you can channel that more intelligently. All right. Each one of us have full control over our belief system. How many of you believe that? Your belief system is something that you control. Nobody can control that for you. So on a scale from 1 to 10, on a scale 1 to 10, how many of you believe that you are valuable? Does that mean 5? No, I'm just kidding. I know you're just raising your hand. 2? Okay, times 2. There you go. There you go. There you go. So you control that, guys. You control your belief system. All right. For me, my belief system really kicked in when God told me that, yes, I created you on purpose for a purpose. Boom. That's when it was a game changer for me, guys. Because he told me that. But guess what? I was in a spot that I was receptive to hear that. My heart was broke so he could do something new. You've heard my story. I hit rock bottom. I can sit here and tell you that I depended on him. Yes, I depend on him. I depend on him, but I did not depend on him until I truly had to depend on him. And that's truth. Because I wanted to maintain control. I'm just giving it to you honest, guys. But here's what I'll tell you. Our because goals drives us, but sometimes we have to ask ourselves, is our because goal the right because goal? Because sometimes things are driving us that shouldn't be driving us. And that's me. That's what was going on with me. You see, when I hit rock bottom, when I had that, I call it a divine disruption. And I really, truly, I'm on the closet floor, like I said before, in a fetal position, crying my eyes out because I felt like I lost everything. And I felt like, what did I do wrong? I think I'm doing it all right. I feel like I've got the ingredients for success. Where am I missing the boat? What's wrong? It's then when I promise you, it was almost like like I didn't see God, right? But I saw something making me sit in a chair in my mind. Now that I got your attention, boy, hey, sit right there in that chair. I'm going to show you what you've been doing. Like, look at this screen. Now, there wasn't a screen in there. I'm just saying that's kind of what I, pictured it. You know what I mean? Just like Charlie Daniels, old devil went down to Georgia. Hey, you pretty good, old son, but sit right there and let me show you how it's done. This is what you've been doing. And he started playing that video, that film. See, y'all, it's like y'all right there with me, right? Y'all about to watch this film with me. Listen, he pointed out that I was trying to be my dad. I didn't realize this, guys. I was so ingrained with that. It's all up in me that I was trying to hit markers that my dad hit. And yeah, I know I've shared the story over and over again, but I'm going to show you how this works. I had the wrong because goal. And because I didn't have a house paid for when I was 35, and I was nowhere near retirement in my late 40s. Wait a minute, I'm not really, I'm kind of late 40s. I'm approaching that latter half of late 40s. But anyway, I've been operating in a panic mode, man. I've been living my life panicking because I was basing my success on somebody that I wasn't and on metrics that didn't even apply to me, man. I've got my own race to run. So my because goal was completely wrong. You see, I had the skill and I did have knowledge and I had the willpower, but I was in the wrong game, bro. I was in the wrong game. Period. But when I realized that my because goal is to be the best version of myself and be who God called me to be, number one, for him. Number two, for my family. That's when it was a game changer. That's when I started living in the now. I am where my feet be. Because I wasn't. I was so caught up in being a human doing that I wasn't even a human being. You understand? I was so ate up with it, man. And when I tell you that it's so important to be present and it's so important to pursue your purpose, you pursue the purpose. You may not just go to the corner and walk away. I found out what my purpose is. Woo! No. Strive for excellence. When you strive for excellence, success will be a byproduct. If you pursue success, that's outside metrics, man. That's keeping up with the Joneses or comparing yourself to somebody else. You need to understand that you're never going to arrive. I believe you will never arrive. You always have that next step. Now, how does this apply to anything that, getting from A to B? Well, I mean, if you don't have the right because goal, you're going to be wondering and wondering all your way to B. Why can't I get it figured out? It just don't make no sense. Well, you can't see the picture when you're stuck inside the frame. Y'all ever heard that before? Barack from Coach Burt, Janet. We got to leave our ego behind, man. And I know, I'm just an old country boy and I like to have fun. And this is who I am. I just tell it like it is. I have not arrived. I am not perfect. I have my struggles every single solitary day. But I'm going to tell you, I know where I'm going now. I know where I'm going and I know why I'm going there. And I know because why. Until he changes my direction. And he will do that. But here's what I want to tell you. This is how important this is. This is what I want you to get in your head. I tell this story so many times, I can't remember if I told it in front of this group or somebody else. But if you driving down the road, because I think this is very, very important, just to see how much that belief system, that because goal, that purpose, that emotional driver drives you. If you're driving down the road and you're getting closer and closer to your house and you see some smoke, kind of in the direction where your house is, that might be a little alarming, right? What's going on here? And then you get closer and you get into the hood and then you turn on to your street and you live in the cul-de-sac and that's your house. Guess what? Your kids are in that house. Well, you pull up and hey, you've got firefighters there. You've got the chief out front. Now, what kind of logical approach are you going to approach that situation? Well, they've got it all under control. So I'm just going to sit here on the curb and let them do what they do. Now, once they do what they do, I'm going to get my kids and we're going to go to Chick-fil-A and get some nuggets. Do you think you're even thinking about that? No. You will run through a brick wall to get to your kids. And let me tell you something. You have a belief system and a purpose that, you can control a little bit better than that. But that's that fire. That's that burn that we talk about that so gets me so yayed up. Before I'd be like, what the world? Them people crazy. Why they so, yayed up on, they didn't take their tablespoon of Act Right this morning. Well, I need 2 tablespoons of Act Right because I believe what I believe and I've got a mission that I've got to do. And I want to do it. See, that's the thing. It ain't just, we get to do this, man. We get to do this. I didn't even spend time preparing for this, y'all. We're going to have a little invitation here at the end. Huh? Come on, come on. No, listen, that's what I'm talking about, though. When you find that, when you truly, truly, truly understand that you are created on purpose for a purpose, and you are special, and God has a plan for your life, and you need to get off the sideline and keep, stop from just saying, I hope it shakes out. Hope something shakes out for me. Hope it shakes out in my favor. Get a little leftovers. No, get in the game, man. Get in the game. God gave you something to contribute. So I actually went through, it's kind of funny how I discovered all this. I got certified as an advanced. See, I'm putting that in there because that's a part of the title. Advanced mental toughness coach. Not mental toughness coach, advanced. Don't you leave that off, right? But you know what the area of concentration was? Approval addiction. Approval addiction is not a sexy topic or title, but it's fear of rejection. That's why so many businesses go out of business in less than 2 years. That's why there's so much turnover in sales, because people don't like being told no. Think about it. As kids, what do? We go love up. Okay, Papa, can I have a Snickers bar? You want them to reward you for your good behavior. If they say no, that hurts our feelings, right? That carries over into who we are. It really does. And believe it or not, according to studies and statistics that I can't cite to you right now, I don't know the references, but I've heard this before. When we're adults, most of us, 9 times out of 10, are full-blown approval addicts in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And it really affects the more ambitious people who are driven. Because you can ask somebody out on a date and they tell you no. You just kind of, oh, well, I felt rejected. But sometimes that don't really matter. That's minute, right? That's just a part of the game. But for those who are driven, and we have to make calls, and we have to, have high level activity, prospecting and all that. We don't like to be told no. So let me ask you a question. Let's go back to your belief system. Do you feel like you're valuable? Do you believe that you bring value? Now take that because goal and connect it to the performance. When I say performance, to the calling, to the prospecting. Because if they say no, I'm going to give you another Coach Birdism. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. But you got to be confident. And I think I've shared this before. Forever, when I would call somebody, it didn't have to be a cold call. I'd call them up. Hey, Tim, is now a good time? Sure, you want to be respectful. I don't want to bother you. I just don't want to bother you. Well, look, I'm automatically coming. Real timid. You know what I mean? So what does that look like? Does that look like I'm scared? Yeah, it looks like I'm scared. But if I really believe that I'm a 10, or my value that I'm bringing is a 10, what place does that have in the whole equation? You're missing out if they don't talk to me. If I can help them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm Mr. Fix-All, but if that is something that I feel like I can help somebody with, or, help some part of their life financially or whatever, then I have to understand that some will, some won't, so what? And then I have to also understand that just because I had my revelation and I'm fired up, I can't expect people to feel the same way. So honestly, I used to get mad. I mean, I wrote that book, Wake Up Your Retirement. Halfway through writing it, it's before I got the title. I kept saying, people just need to wake up. Oh, they need to wake up, take personal responsibility. There's so many else, so many other things out there. Well, we gotta remember, where did they come from? Maybe they didn't have that revelation. So we have to be understanding. That's kind of like what I talked about last night. We have to listen to understand instead of listening to respond. So we have to have grace with people. But again, I would just challenge you to really don't be me. I look, I told y'all too, my faith is so important to me. I don't separate it. There is no separation. I live an integrated life, period. So if you hear financials, you're going to hear faith in the same paragraph because that's who I am. And I can't be quiet about what God's done for me. But I don't know where I was going with that. See, I'll mess up at the very end. Hold on now, because I think it was good. I believe it was good. You need to find, oh yeah. So I've considered myself a successful failure for years because I was driven by the profit. And then once I got the profit or a certain amount of status financially, then I would focus on whatever God wanted me to do or everything else. But God will provide provision for his vision and for what you are supposed to do. So I would challenge you truly, shift your focus, not to profit, but to purpose. Because you'll be surprised. If you truly, truly, truly do some introspection, and that was what they called it in that course. That's a process that I can help some people with, actually. And it's called a facilitated introspection, where we kind of dig, and we can get that we can find that because. And then once you have that, what you will live for, die for, and fight for, that's the blueprint. That's what makes you go. And so anyway, I hope that was of some sort of value to you. I know I get really passionate about it because it's real to me, and I want people to experience what's on the other side and not drive the struggle bus and be on that abundant bus, because, man, fulfillment, man, we all want different things. But I really think at the end of the day, we all could say that we just want to have a peace, that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I'm talking about a true peace. And yes, that's the peace that passes all understanding, because that's real. And I'm experiencing it. And I want that more for people than anything else. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. Love you. Any questions? I run it all the way up to 844.
Man, I love it. Guys, give him some love, give him some hearts, give him some thumbs up. This is his true first time. He was on last Thursday because he stepped in. But as Greg and Christian have said before, when you do this and figure it out, there's sometimes where you're kind of just you're speaking off the cuff of whatever it is. And to be able to put that together, Chad, thank you. Two ahas that I took away from what you stated. How many of you think when you hear a Fortune 500 company, like they're successful? Like, how many of you, give me a thumbs up, how many when you hear Fortune 500 company, they're successful? Did you all know that the Fortune 500 company started back in the 1950s? And from them, there's less than 12% that are still at that level from 1950s. So the failure of these successful these people, these companies, if you don't pour into yourself, like Chad was saying, every single day in some capacity or purpose and clarity, and no joke, Chad, my prayer call this morning, literally, like I can't even make this stuff up, guys, was Growing to Your Potential by John Maxwell, January 31st. And it talked about your purpose. And so when you stated it, I was like, oh my goodness, wow, okay, let me really pay attention. God's got this on me. Like he's got a couple things lined up for me for purpose. And it's not even like like 9 o'clock. But I do love this your story about the fire and your kids, because I said to myself, damn, how can I bottle up that emotion? Because you will break through walls, you will go through cars, you will jump over cars. You don't care if it's the police chief, the president of the United States. You'd be like, my kids are in there, I'm going in.
Yep.
And it just is like, I'm like, man, how do I get just a little teaspoon of that? When you said your tablespoon, I was like, man, that's what I need. I need a tablespoon of that because I don't have it every day. And man, that energy that drives. So I love it, man. Great stuff today, brother. I appreciate you sharing. Guys, Chad, what's your chadfree.com?
Chadfree.com. Chadfree.com.
Literally FREE.com. We're going to be having more and more of his stuff out there for those that want to speak with him more directly, engage with him, figure out what he's got going on, because we all bring something different to the table. Our big things that we got tomorrow, Wednesday webinar, we're doing the Black Belt of Personalities Design for Buyers. Okay, so that's tomorrow, 11 o'clock. My buddy Chris is going to be joining me. And then the 15th, I have my 4 pillars. This is my new topic that I've been speaking on. The 4 pillars need to be successful in 2023. I got a webinar next Wednesday. That's that bz3.com. And then Coach Bert, he is live, going to be with us February 17th. We got a happy hour. So that's the bz3coachbert.com. So several different things coming up. Chad and I are going to be doing a webinar in the beginning of February as well. He doesn't even know it yet. I just got to get the day. I just got to get the date because he's probably like, what am I doing? Yeah, you don't know about the date yet, but I will give it to you very shortly. So you gotta keep on your toes when I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot. Guys, it's 8:47. I'm out of here. Guys, have a great day. Greg will be with us tomorrow at 8:15. Be ready to rock and roll with him. See you guys. Have an awesome day. God bless y'all. Chad, thanks, brother. See you guys.
Mm-hmm.